Hi everyone. I actually don't know what this video is going to be about. Something just told me to come turn on your camera and chat, so I'm just following my intuition and doing that. I have no idea what I'm talking about today. But I did see a few comments under my last video that I posted really recently that said, show us some pictures, show us some before and after pictures more so we can really see the progress. So I really haven't done that, so I'm going to do that, number one. And number two, tell us some of your life updates, what's going on with you as a person. So I'm going to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do though is kind of show you where my body is at. So I'm going to just back up. Yeah? I don't know if you can see. So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. About 175 pounds. That is about 175 pounds. I started the 100-day fast at 227 pounds. So, whatever that math is. And then, last year, though, when I started my weight loss journey, I was 252 pounds, somewhere like that. So all in all, I've lost quite a bit. And I'm going to show you pictures of when I was 250. Let's see. The last time I was this small, I would say would be when I'm 31 now. I would say 27, 28, around there. So let me just tell you a little bit about my journey. I don't know, I just feel like chatting today. So, all right, my journey. Let's see. Let's talk about my weight journey. Where do I start? I was always a bigger kid. I don't remember a time where I was ever skinny. Maybe when I was 10. I don't know. But I've always been a chubbier child. And I grew up in a single parent household, but not in the way that you think. I actually had a single dad. And he raised me. Love that man. Love you, Rob. His name is Robert. Big ups to him. Yeah, so he raised me. But, not without challenge and struggle as a single man. He wasn't a domestic type of guy, so my meals were mostly takeout when I was a child. So I grew up, also my background in terms of nationality, I grew up in between Jamaica and America, back and forth. So his job would take him from the States to Jamaica, depending on, his jobs would take him from Jamaica or America, depending on where he was working at the time. So for example, I went to part of my primary school experience was in America, and part of it was in Jamaica. I went to high school in Jamaica, and I went to college in America. So it really depended on his job situation. So anyway, my point is that I grew up with him, and he wasn't a cooker. He didn't cook at all, not even a little bit. Maybe I can count on my hands how many times he's cooked a meal. So all of my meals really came from fast food. And I know that sounds horrible, and it is, but it's not what you think. It's not like he was buying me McDonald's and Burger King and all that stuff all the time. I think he chose from what he thought were the best fast food alternatives. So if you're Jamaican, he would buy me Island Grill, which is pseudo Jamaican food, jerk chicken with fries or rice and peas or that kind of vibe. And that seemed like a balanced diet, so he would feed me that. Or he would take me, if I was in the States, maybe he would make that's funny, maybe he would buy Wendy's, which he thought was a healthy fast food option at the time. That's how it's also marketed too. Like that's the better of the fast food, options. There was also a period of time where my grandma was living with us and she would cook sometimes, but she was not a good cook. Love you, grandma. Rest in peace. You're the best. But she was an absolutely heinous cook. So, yeah. And she was also overweight. Funny enough, he wasn't really, he was a little bit overweight, but not horrific. He was probably 200 pounds. And now he's lost weight. He's like 180 now. He's like a healthy weight for his height and all that stuff. But he was never like huge men. But, yeah, I grew up not eating well at all. So I also never learned to eat well, or eat a balanced diet or eat vegetables, to be honest. Like, it was never sold to me like vegetables were like, obviously, like, of course, that fruits and vegetables are healthy, but it was never sold to me like that it was like a necessary thing that you have to eat on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Especially with Jamaican food, it's mostly starch and meat, as you know. I feel like Black American food is like that too. It's a starchy, meaty vibe, It's chicken, it's mutton, it's beef, it's pork, and rice, or ground provisions like yam, potato, whatever, which those aren't bad for you, but, in combination with meat, it's not the best, because fat really blocks carbs from doing what it's supposed to do, and then you get diabetes, and then you blame the carb, and it's blah, blah. So what am I talking about? How did we get here? What I ate growing up. Yeah. So it didn't start out well. The race started out bad from the jump, honestly. I didn't really have a chance from the jump, because as soon as I went to college and I was exposed to like all of the myriads of foods, I went ham. I just ate everything on the planet, because even though I grew up with fast food, I didn't grow up in abundance. Like, not only was he kind of a cheap guy, but he also didn't want me to get fat, because I was already a chubbier kid. He didn't want me to get too fat, so the house was never stocked with stuff. There was never juice or snacks, or there was never an abundance of food. And there was actually no food, because we depended on eating out every single meal. So there was no food at the house. So whatever meal I had to wait on him to give it to me. And he didn't buy me extra. He just like, you get one sandwich with fries and a soda, and that's it, But if you think about it, yes, those foods are calorically dense, but it's not volume. So I was always very hungry. So I was thinking about food all the time. So I was obsessed with food, actually. So anytime that I could get access to more food, I would eat it. Right? So, yeah, I was sneaking food any way I could. So when I got to college and I had that unlimited dining pass, I was eating breakfast, second breakfast, lunch, second lunch, dinner, evening dinner, night dinner. Like, I was going ham on that food. And that's when I first hit 200 pounds. When I was 17, before I went off to college, I would say I was about 170, maybe 170, no, that's not true. I was about 180. And then at that time, so I'm 31 now, so when I was 18, this diet fad came to Jamaica called the HCG diet. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's this hormone that pregnant women develop when I don't really necessarily understand what it was, but it was a hormone that pregnant women developed, and they would inject it. I don't even remember the science of it, but it was a diet where we would inject it into our bellies, and then I'd only eat 500 calories a day, and then I'd lose weight. And my dad, who love him, he innocently trying to help me, and also, there's definitely backgrounds of a culture of people hating, not liking fat women and not liking how we look, so trying desperately to do anything to like get me to not be fat. But that's a whole other Question. He was doing it out of the goodness of his heart, trying to help me. And it wasn't just me. I was a friend of mine as well who was also overweight, whose mom brought that vibe to my dad, and my dad and her were both like, let's get our daughters on this shit so that they can not be fat. So we both did the HCG diet, injected it into ourselves, ate 500 calories. That sounds so crazy. Was it a 500 or was it 1,000? It couldn't be 500. I remember the number 500 though. Maybe it was 500 per meal? I don't remember. But it was something insanely ridiculous. So I was eating like a sausage and some vegetables every single day. It was a no carb diet, honestly. Like meat and a vegetable every single day. And I just chose sausage at the time because I couldn't cook. And my dad didn't cook. So that was the easiest thing that I could just throw in the microwave for myself. And then anyway, so I was set up for failure. So that was like 18, and I'm sure that like fucked with my metabolism at the time. Did I say metabolism? Metabolism at the time. I'm sure that fucked with me and is definitely contributed to my weight issues today. But with that diet, I went from 180 to like 150, and everybody was like, whoa, and it seemed like it like was, the cure. And then right after that, I went to college. And then I went ham. And that was the first time that I saw 200 pounds. 200 pounds. I had never been that big in my life. And I'm 5 foot, by the way. So freshman year, 200 pounds. My dad is like, oh, my friends back home. So I went to college abroad. So I left high school in Jamaica, went to college abroad. First time being an adult in the States. My friends back home are like, what happened? My dad is like, what happened? It was just horrible. So I got some friends at the time when I was in school, and they were motivated to help me to lose the weight. So weight focused, right? I couldn't even enjoy my freshman year. I'm just focused on how fat I got. So we're at the gym and we're trying to do that, and I lost a little bit of weight, it got a little bit better. And then when I was about 19, I discovered veganism, and that probably just naturally took some of the weight off. It wasn't like healthy veganism or anything like that. I just wasn't eating meat anymore. So I think naturally I just slimmed down a bit. So maybe I was 180 again. 170 again, probably. I was pretty small relatively to what I've been through. And then after that, after the 170, I discovered raw veganism, and that took my weight down significantly as well to about 160 or so. And then I don't remember what happened. I was probably a raw vegan for like a month or so. That's how I took off that weight. And then, I don't know, I got into a relationship after that. And, relationship weight, how'd that go? So I gained weight again. And that probably averaged out at like 180, 190. And I was that for a few years. And then I left. When I finished college, graduated, I got my first desk job. And desk jobs, I gained a bunch of weight, and I was probably back at 200, somewhere like that. And I was there for a little while, and then I left. I went to college in Rhode Island, and I got that first desk job outside in Rhode Island as well. So after that, I moved to Florida. Me and that person broke up, and I just needed a change in my life, so I moved to Florida. And I was remote. I was working remote for that same job that I left in. Well, for the same job that I was working in Rhode Island, I left Rhode Island, but I kept the job. So I was working remotely from Florida. And I didn't have any friends in Florida. I didn't know anybody in Florida. And I just gained a bunch of weight and I discovered Uber Eats. Uber Eats was my friend now. Me and that guy would dab up each other every day. I'm kidding. But seriously, Uber Eats was now it's what I depended on. And for food, because I wasn't cooking. There's a theme in this of not cooking, by the way. I wasn't cooking. So I just would order takeout every day. I didn't have any friends, so I stayed in my room and I didn't do anything. And I got depressed just from lack of activity and just lack of social interaction. I had a terrible room. My roommate and I didn't get along that well at the time. If you're watching this, you were mean. Let's be honest. So, well, what am I telling you? Yeah, didn't have any friends, ate in my room all the time, in bed, terrible. And I got to 235 pounds, I'll never forget it. I had never been that big. And it was shocking for me, horrible. So I went on a water fast for 30 days, and I got down to the light changed a bit there. I got down to back to 80 maybe around there, the high 100s, and I was very happy. And then I decided, okay, Florida isn't working for me. I'm not feeling good. I was in my early 20s. I was like 22, 23. So I'm like, I'm bored. Life can't be this sad, like, I can't be so sedentary. Like, I can't be so inactive socially. I'm so young. Like, this is wrong. I didn't know what I needed to do, but I knew I couldn't continue doing what I was doing. And I also didn't know how to drive at the time. So I didn't have that independence, you know what I mean? And Uber was expensive. So I said, you know what? The decisions I was making was actually really interesting. I'm gonna move back to Jamaica. I'm gonna go home, back to my people, back to my land, back to my culture. My dad lives there. My friends from high school are all there. Jamaica's culture, if you're Jamaican, then you know. If you're not, then the party culture is up here. So I'm just gonna go and recapture my 20s and have a good time. And honestly, that was a really good decision. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was the right decision for me. So at 23, or 24, 25. How old was I? 24, 25. I moved back to Jamaica after being away for 7 years. And I was about 180 pounds at the time. So I looked good. I felt good. I looked good relative to my history. So for me, I looked good. I did look good. But for me, what I'm used to, 190, 180 is quite small, especially when I was just 200. So yeah, I came home, felt good, looked good, partied, had a grand old time, right? Life was good. Still wasn't cooking. Still getting takeout. I'm vegetarian, so I'm still eating some dairy-ish things that wasn't the best for me. Lying to myself that I was vegan, so I was shame eating vegetarian food. Binge eating, shame eating vegetarian food, going to Burger King every day, all of that stuff. So at this time, my weight would yo-yo back and forth. So from 25 to 30, the 5 years that I've been here, yo-yo back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And now and many fasts and diets and whatever later. I don't even need to go. I don't need to keep going, honestly. You get it. I think I've said it before. Like, I've fasted and dieted and done a bunch of stuff in between that time since I've lived in Jamaica. And now we're here. 31. So now the thing is, what are we doing different so that this isn't a cycle that continues to happen? What am I doing now that I didn't do then, or what am I not doing now that I did do then, to change the circumstances? And the truth is, I know plant-based diet for sure, 100%. That is something that is non-negotiable for me. I'm never going to eat meat. It's just not my vibe. So it has to be something in this arena. Yeah, and I think that, and exercise also has never been a part of my journey. ever. I've been to the gym here and there. Like, I've signed up for gym memberships. I've gone for 2-3 months. Like, I've done stuff. I've done like at-home workouts here and there for a couple months at a time. But there's never been anything permanent in my life that is like just a part of who I am that I've ever done. Yeah, which is definitely an issue. So, yeah, I just felt like I wanted to come and say that stuff. Especially because this is definitely a new season in my life, because I am doing 3 things. I am trying and hopefully succeeding. I'm trying and hopefully succeeding at making this health conscious like lifestyle permanent. I am moving from Jamaica again. I'm leaving. I've been here for about 6 years now. I love it. It's been my home. It's been such an amazing experience being here as an adult, and choosing to be here, not because I moved here for my dad or I moved here for a partner or any of that. I moved here single because I wanted to. And that's been amazing. I've built my career here as a marketer. I'm in marketing. I've figured out what I want to do here, which is content creation. And I've really found myself here as a person. I have a significant other who lives here, and we live together. So a lot of positive things have come out of living in Jamaica. And I am... Ooh, windy. I hope it's not affecting the sound. It's been an amazing journey, and I'm so grateful, and I love it here. And yeah, and just coming back to like your roots, you know, where I am like culturally, it's just been amazing. I love it. So yeah, no regrets. Definitely no regrets. It has its downsides, which maybe I'll do a video just about that. It definitely has its downsides, but all in all, I love it. But I'm leaving because I'm ready for a new journey. I'm in my 30s. I'm just, you know, jumping into my 30s, and I want to spend my 30s somewhere else. I need a new challenge. I need a new vibe. I need a new environment. It's time. By the way, guys, I'm a Gemini, so I'm thinking there are a few different avenues that I can go down, whether it be go back to Florida. That's where my family home is. That's where my dad lives now. So I can quit my job, go back to Florida, and stay there for a while and figure out what I do next. Or I can look for jobs in New York, which is like, I have this dream. I've always had a dream of living in New York. I've always wanted to live in New York. That's not an easy goal because New York is very, 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 very expensive, as we know. And getting an apartment there is not an easy task. It's not impossible. Nothing is impossible. Follow your dreams. But it's not, it would be remiss of me it wouldn't make sense for me to not just at least think about the fact that it is very expensive. Yeah. And the third option would be LA, which is also expensive, but like the breaking into that housing market and breaking into that like lifestyle wouldn't be as difficult as New York is. Like, check out what it takes to get into what the requirements are to get an apartment in New York. Like, I'm not lying. It's expensive. It's hard. It's difficult. So, by the way, if you guys have advice, or if some of you guys live in those cities, please let me know. I love advice. So yeah, Miami, New York, LA. And I would like to do that in 6 months. I'd like to finish out the year. I'd like to finish out 2024 here. And then 2025, January, gone. Yeah. And then my third thing is that I want to I've been on YouTube My YouTube videos go back 10 years, since 2015, when I was 21 or something. Sorry, something like that. And it's been my dream for a really long time to be a YouTuber since I was 16 years old. I've always wanted it. But unfortunately, my time on YouTube has been more of as a consumer than an actual like creator. And I don't know what has stopped me, just confidence, laziness, lack of motivation, whatever it is, I don't know, but it has definitely, I haven't done YouTube the way that I've always wanted to, because I don't know why. I really don't know why. I have no excuse, to be honest with you, just lack of dedication. So, but it is my dream. So, and I'm 30, so it's time to embark on your dreams and your goals, because I don't want to work anymore. I'm not kidding. I don't want to work anymore for other people. I really, really, really want to start my own content creator journey. And I really am passionate about veganism and health and wellness and what's the word I'm looking for? There's a word. Not progression. There's a word. You know what I'm saying. Bettering. Self-betterment. There's a word. But that's what I want to do. I really want to get into that. Because I want to help others. Really, I think that that's my goal. I think I was put on this earth to, I don't know if you're a spiritual person, yay. If you're not, then this may sound like mumbo jumbo, but I think that my purpose was to help people who are depressed. I've struggled with depression for a really, really, really long time, and I've struggled with anxiety and not feel like self-doubt and imposter syndrome and just feeling like you're not good enough. And I just feel like I have used YouTube and comedy and veganism and other avenues to kind of like pick me up and help me to find inner peace. And I just feel like I really want to help other people, other girls specifically, to do that as well. Like there are so many, content creators have helped me to grow and come into myself and come into my own, and I want to do that for somebody else. I want to give back, and I think that's my purpose in life. And I don't want to work for, especially, so I'm in marketing, right? So literally my job is to sell products, is to find creative ways to sell products to people. And I just feel unfulfilled now. I've been in marketing for years, many, many years. And I love the lessons I've learned from it because it's helped me to understand business. But in terms of what speaks to my soul, I don't really want to do it anymore. And I have to just say that out loud. I don't think I say that out loud enough. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. It doesn't make me happy. I feel unfulfilled. I spent my 20s grinding, trying to climb the corporate ladder, trying to become something that I thought that other people want me to become. I'm trying to achieve goals I would focus on values that other people deem like important, but I don't think that they were ever important to me. I just think I'm a people pleaser, probably because of childhood, trying to please my dad. I think I'm just a people pleaser, and I just wanted to achieve based on what other people thought was valuable. But 30, new light, new life, new direction. I want to do things that I deem valuable, and I think giving back to people is really what's important. Even if you look at my YouTube videos, it's good to look at yourself from the past. I'm so glad I put out those videos. Even if I didn't take YouTube seriously enough and post consistently, I'm so glad I posted what I posted, because I look back and it's evidence to me that this is what I meant to do, because I've been trying to help people progress. Like, I've been trying to shine light based on what I've learned to help people for years. For 10 years I've been trying to do that, and it's obvious that is what is meant for me. So Long story short, this is what I want to do. And I really I want people to go vegan too. I'm not going to lie. I do. So yeah, thanks for listening to me on my little chat, my little journey, on me and what I want to do with my life. But yeah, those are my life updates. Yeah. Thank you for listening. I love you. Bye.